Linda.
Hi, Nancy.
Welcome to Season 1, Episode 9 of the Front Porch Book Club.
The Front Porch Book Club is a podcast that meets twice a month.
And we like to dig deep into the relationship between characters and the worlds they live in.
Grab your book and some iced tea and join us on our front porch.
Okay, well, Lenny, we definitely need iced tea today. The day we're recording this is like 90-some degrees where both you and I live. So definitely we need to stay hydrated.
Good. Ice is key.
So we got to actually see each other in person a couple weeks ago.
I know, it was so fun.
It was a good time.
And we had iced tea on the front porch.
We did. And we got a lot of pictures of the two of us.
They were very charming.
One of them I already put in our monthly newsletter.
And they're on our website too.
Yeah, one did appear on the website.
Yeah.
That's right. That was fun to spend some time in person and get some publicity shots.
Oh, publicity shots. I told people I had a photo shoot.
Oh, that sounds very glamorous.
Well, publicity shots, I like that one too. I'll put that in my vocabulary for what we're doing when I talk about podcasts, because that's a new one for me too.
And we had 2 photographers.
We did. Very cheap. Family members.
And we also had wardrobe changes.
What we did. You may or may not see that. I don't know. But we did. Hey, you know what we have to do for the next one? Hair and makeup.
Oh, you're right.
Well, we made it look different. We made it look different to the public for the next one.
I was feeling a little windblown, actually.
Oh, really? You look fabulous. You look like sunshine. That's what I said when you took that picture. Just bright and sunny all around you.
I think that was the actual sun, though.
You know, it's good we're having fun right now because this book was very different than any other books we have ever discussed on this front porch.
So why don't you tell us about the book and the author and all of that?
Yeah. The author I used to work with, and I've always seen him as the sunshiny, pleasant, easy to laugh person, jovial, creative, just a really nice person. And I'm reading this book going, what in the world? What does Mark have going on inside him to write such a creepy, odd book? I don't know how you categorize it. I think it's like a blend of science fiction, mystery, paranormal.
Yeah.
Suspenseful fantasy.
Yeah.
Thriller. Where you find this in a bookstore, I don't know. I found it on my Kindle because Mark put it out on his Facebook. I wrote a book. So it's very simple for me to find it on the Kindle. If you go into a bookstore, I have no idea where you find this. We'll have to ask him.
But it's easy to find on Amazon because you can just go to Amazon and search The Legacy, which is the name of the book. Or
there you go.
You can just go to our website because we have a link to The Legacy from our website. And the nice thing about going to our website is we get a little tiny commission if you buy the book from our link, and it's no additional cost to our listeners or anything like that. It's just we get a little tiny bit.
Oh.
Did you know that?
I did not know that because you're tech support. I'm just the talker.
You're the talent.
No. Okay, so my friend Mark and I go back decades ago at a post-secondary school. One of the majors was culinary, and he did a lot of teaching in culinary.
Oh, wow.
And I was wondering if that's where he got Clayton's profession from, because our people that did the culinary school, I mean, it was a fine arts culinary school. And so these guys would, go all over the place to refine their skills at graduation and take jobs at fine dining restaurants and all of that. So I was curious if he, kind of drew on that experience for Clayton.
Oh, yeah.
So, I know Mark as not only a teacher, but I also know he can sing opera.
What?
He's also been in commercials. He has auditioned in New York for various things. he does all this really creative stuff. And then lo and behold, the legacy comes out and I see he's written a book. And I'm like, this guy, he is so, so talented. But I didn't know he had this kind of like this evil thing. I don't know. I'm going to ask him about this because when you meet him, he's just so nice. I mean, he rescues prairie dogs, like he's a
What?
kind heart. He'll laugh if I say that, but he is. I believe he's from Lancaster, a rural kind of area. And there's this farm theme, rural kind of odd religion thing going on. So I don't know if that's all stemming from his life in rural Lancaster. I don't know. I got lots to ask him.
I live in a state that has a lot of prairie dogs, so I have to know where are these prairie dogs he's rescuing?
Oh, well, that was when he lived in Colorado.
Oh, okay, that
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah. He doesn't live in Colorado anymore. He moved from there.
Colorado also shows up in the book.
Yes. So, there's some parallels here. And I didn't even think about that. I believe he was in Colorado when he wrote this book.
Okay.
Yeah. So kind of interesting. So that's how I know Mark and read the book right away. And, we started this podcast. So I'm like, I got to see if Mark will be interested in coming on. He said, absolutely. And he always calls me friend, which is so sweet.
That is sweet.
Okay, friend. Yes, friend. So we'll have him on the next time.
Yeah. It's to capture the overall storyline of the book. There are these deities and they need host bodies in order for the human race to continue. And it's kind of set up that there are certain humans that play certain roles, and some are helping the human race and others are against the human race. And you live inside the minds of a lot of these characters. And some of them have a really good idea of exactly what they're doing because they have had communications about their role and what they're supposed to do. And others aren't so aware. They just know that they have been having like recurring dreams. Like Clayton has recurring dreams that he needs to go rescue a little girl in Colorado.
Right.
So I think paranormal is a really good way to describe what this book is all about.
Oh, creepy. Very creepy. Okay.
So what is creepy about that? Like what, you keep using the word creepy. What's creepy to you about the book?
Beings taking over your body, Nancy. Beings coming into your body and possessing you.
Okay.
And what about that little girl, Ellen?
Yeah.
That's a creepy, creepy story. Like she is abused. Her wrists are slit. She's living a horrible life in Colorado.
That's true.
In front of the church people who are very creepy.
Okay.
Oh,
you're right. Yeah, slitting the wrists of a little girl at a church service. You're right. Okay, that qualifies as creepy.
Yeah. Well, and entities taking over your body and you don't have control of that. Okay, and then there's this other component here of this book, which has to do with the mental health. The mental health aspect of some of these characters. I mean, we've got trauma.
Yeah. Every character has experienced some kind of trauma, like every single character, right?
Well, we have trauma in Clayton because his dad mysteriously dies.
Yep.
We have trauma from Joanna.
Mm-hmm.
Azra. Her life is traumatic and she doesn't even remember part of it.
Yeah.
So that's trauma.
Yeah.
Bipolar, perhaps with Sarah. I'm going to fall short on the schizophrenia because it's a fictional book. So, I mean, really there's an entity that is coming inside of her. Ay.
And then poor Amir, his mom, I guess he thinks his mom has left him as a small boy.
Yes.
And
right.
That is a really open chapter for him, his whole life.
Yeah, that could be traumatic for sure. the eeriness of the book and sort of this dark story. We have not really done a dark story like this on our front porch, sipping iced tea
True.
with ice cubes in it. Little bit different for us.
Yeah, although with Crawdads, poor Kaya, she had lots of trauma in her life too.
Oh, well, that's true. She did have lots of trauma. And I did like that book.
Did you like this book?
I did like this book. I had to put my friend Mark to the side.
Yeah.
Because I kept thinking, Mark, what are you reading here? And then I had to just focus in on the book. But yeah, I mean, that's funny knowing the author, because I kept thinking like, oh, is this where he's getting this from? Or I know this about him, or I know this about him. We have talked about his growing up in a conservative area and what that meant to him. And,
oh, yeah.
And so I had to kind of put Mark aside and just read the book for what it was and not make myself go too deep on it.
Yeah.
But a lot of this book has to do with the destiny, the mission of these gods and what they were set out to do. And then, they're coming into human bodies to meet their mission or the destiny. Have you ever thought about destiny, mission, purpose, any of those existential thoughts racing around in your head?
I actually don't think that you can be a professional person in 21st century America without having encountered some organization who wants to talk about their mission statement.
Oh, everybody has to have a mission statement. Hey, do we have a mission statement, Nance, for our Front Porch Book Club? We did talk about that. Like, what was our purpose? What were we going to do?
We did. Yeah. I definitely read or listen to other podcasts where people talk about person's purpose in life and those kind of things. And I agree. The themes of this book definitely were around destiny, mission, meaning. And it seemed that, definitely the book was coming from the perspective that we have a destiny to fulfill and that destiny matters. And it's played out with these characters because these
Right.
characters have a very specific destiny to fulfill. And that destiny matters because the existence of the entire human race is dependent on whether or not they fulfill that destiny. And it's
Right.
very codified for them. Like there are very specific outcomes they need to achieve. So that's a little more dramatic than most of us experience in our lives. I don't know that any of us really are going to change the course of all humankind and the existence of all humankind.
I'm just trying to get the laundry done, the
Right.
grocery shopping done. The bed's still not made. Yeah. Those bigger thoughts don't always run across my mind.
Yeah. But I do think about it, and I don't know if I really believe in destiny. I don't know if we each have a destiny that we have been given that we need to fulfill. I tend to think of life as being much more flexible than having a very specific destiny or mission. And I think maybe one of the reasons I think that is, what if you miss that destiny? Or what if you make one decision in your life that means you can never get back to fulfilling that destiny or completing that mission that you were born to do? Because maybe if people would say, well, my destiny is to have founded this organization that helps these people. But what if instead you ended up having children that for whatever reason ended up taking a lot of your time and energy, so you couldn't found that organization? Or say you ended up moving to another community. I mean, it's destiny and mission that just seems very rigid to me. As a person of faith, I think that our overall mission is that in Micah? It's like to love justice and walk humbly with your God. I mean, it's just a very general statement of what faith can and should be, and to try to love others as best as we can. Believe me, I'm not sitting here saying that I'm great at any of this, but it seems to me that I feel like I have a much more general kind of destiny or mission. And maybe there are little things along the way that I think, boy, that really came together. And that really felt like God, if you believe in God, really led me to that thing and helped it come to fruition. But even those things that are pretty important to me, I don't know that I would say that they were my single destiny or the one mission. It's more like, wow, I happen to be in this place and I happen to know these people or do this thing, and lots of things came together. I don't know. Does that make any sense what I'm saying to you?
Yeah, it does. And I think that part of what you're saying, your purpose, is that verse, and I don't know where it came from either, but it was beautiful. And I've heard of that.
Yeah.
But in some ways, maybe that's your mission, your purpose, your guiding light. I should probably look that up because that's really beautiful what you said there.
I'm gonna look it up right now. Okay, so it is from Micah. Unbelievable that
You're amazing. Your Sunday school teachers growing up. Oh, that would be Mom. Would be very impressed with you right now.
If Mom's listening, Mom, you get a gold star. Okay, this is from Micah 6:8, and it says, "And what does the Lord require of you? To act justly, to love mercy, and to walk humbly with your God."
That sounds like a wonderful. I mean, that's the purpose. I think that, I mean, if you need a mission statement or something for your life, I think that's a pretty good one. I don't think I can top that. But I've thought of my mission, my purpose. I don't know that I'm going to hit it. But, before I went to grad school, I thought, you know what I want? I think I'm being called, or I think I have a purpose. I think I need to be one of those people in a refugee camp, sitting in a tent, helping people recover from trauma.
Yeah.
And I still think about that. I don't know that it's my destiny. That sounds very Star Wars to me. But kind of the purpose or where I can use my talents and abilities. But it's almost too more of like a goal. And in this book, it's really the goal of these entities to come into humans to get different things to happen.
Yeah.
Maybe the word destiny is a tough one, but kind of your goal, your mission, what are you setting out to do? Part of my mission and goal is to be happy every day. That's a good one.
That's good.
I want to laugh often if I can. Have a good time. I want to go shopping. I want to buy new clothes, and I want my clothes to look good on me. I mean, I have lots of goals, none of which were in this book about saving the human race.
Shocking. But, yeah. Yeah. I think that people love reading about destiny and mission. I've been thinking about, like, why are the superhero movies so popular? When we were growing up, superheroes was thought as something really juvenile in a lot of ways. Like,
yes.
No one was into superheroes. So what is it about our age right now that superheroes, everyone is into these superhero movies? And I think what really resonates with a lot of people is this idea of destiny, that we are here for a purpose, that life is not meaningless, that what we do matters, and that we all have different skills and talents that must be put to use. And if we don't put them to use, then humankind suffers. It definitely amps up the stakes then, as you were saying, in our lives, that our big goal of the day is getting laundry done. But I think that people are really missing the feeling that they matter. And that's why a book like this resonates. That's why the superhero movies resonates. What do you think?
Yeah, I do think about destiny, mission, purpose. I think about what are people going to say when I pass away over my grave.
Yeah.
And what people are going to say at my funeral. So I have thought about my purpose, my destiny. I have struggled with it. I struggle with balance. I struggle with how much work to do, how much, laying around and regrouping.
Wait, is that what we call laying around regrouping? That sounds so much better.
Absolutely. Regrouping.
So, what do you want people to say at your funeral?
Oh my goodness, Nancy. For first, they better cry.
I'll be crying.
Okay. Thank you. I don't know. I guess, it has to do with your mission and your destiny, that you mattered,
Yeah.
that you were not just the regular platitudes. Oh, she was a good mom. She was a good worker.
Yeah.
She loved people, that my life mattered, that it was meaningful to people.
Yeah. Even like that the world is a better place because you were
Right.
here, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, Lenny, I can tell you the world is a better place
Well,
since you've been here. We don't have to wait till your funeral to talk about that. I'm a better person because you are my sister. That's for sure.
Well, I'm a better person because of you too. So I don't know. I think all of that, the existential questions in life, I think are ones that everyone can identify with. There's probably some people who have the luxury to think about them more than other people.
Yeah.
And that are just bent in the way to think about those things. Their lives aren't just getting through work and getting the laundry done and the groceries and the cooking and all of that. Yeah, I do think about it. And I still think I probably need to be sitting in a tent somewhere helping people.
Yeah.
And so I can't figure out how to do that now, but knowing that has guided me and sent me to do other volunteer type activities, even though I'm not in the situation now where I can give up 6 months and go do that. It's led me into other areas where I can kind of fulfill some of that purpose that I think that will make life better for people.
Yeah, you might not be sitting in refugee tents, but do you literally sit in tents sometimes and help people who have had a disaster happen in their lives?
Not yet. But that's one thing I want to do. I've helped people in disasters, but I haven't done any like mass destruction type of things.
Yeah, just more individualized.
Individualized, yeah.
Yeah, and definitely people facing individual trauma or issues or challenges, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's another thing about the book. After I read it, I went back to the beginning to try to piece together some of the themes about the deities because I had lost track of the fact that the introduction sets up this whole idea of the Greek gods looking over the lives of people, which is definitely what the Greeks believed. They absolutely thought of this. And the intro focuses on Helos, the sun god and the ruler of the solar system, and how he's watching out for Gaia, the goddess of the earth. So I once heard a professor talking about his theory for why people have dreamt up the idea of gods. And he was probably also talking about the Christian God, but I remember he was definitely talking about the Greek gods and the Roman gods, is because when humans experience strong emotions, they feel like it has to be attributed to something outside of themselves because human emotion can be so strong that it literally does feel sometimes like it is taking you over. I can think of times that emotions have really overwhelmed me, and you almost feel like you're on the outside looking in, or you're behaving in ways you wouldn't behave, either for good or for bad. And I thought that was really an interesting observation. What do you think about this concept of attributing strong human emotions to gods?
Yeah, I do think it does get back to purpose. For some reason, we all do think there is some kind of feeling that there's something out there bigger than all of us.
Yeah.
And how much control that something is where people disagree or agree. What we call that entity can be different things. But I do believe that there is sort of, most people would say there's something there. Not everybody, but a lot of people who wouldn't even call themselves Christians or Jews or any of the big religions would say, yeah, there might be something there. I can't say that there isn't.
Mm-hmm.
There's something supernatural. There's something that's unexplained. There is a spirit world. There is whatever. So you go back into looking at a lot of religions, cultures over the thousands of years, and a lot of groups when they look in caves and they dig up their civilizations, a lot of groups have something
Yeah.
they are kind of connected with on some level.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's what you're getting at, Nancy, or not.
Yeah, basically. I mean, there is, I think, a strand that ties a lot of humanity together. And it seems like recently more and more I hear people talking about, well, the universe. And so that's a very non-specific way of talking about what you're talking about, that there's something more. There's something beyond. The universe is working together to bring me to this point. That desire, that thought, that belief that there is something beyond just the lives we live has been something that has been core to the human experience.
Right. And then that's what gives you a destiny and a mission, or that's your guiding light, I think, outside of yourself.
Yeah.
That kind of gives you, it does answer those questions in life. A lot of times religion does. It answers those bigger questions.
Yeah.
But I'm interested to hear what Mark has to say on this. I think we should ask him something about this.
Yeah.
About destiny, purpose, mission, find out from him where all this came in from his experience, but then also on a personal level. That's a good question for him.
I'm looking forward to meeting Mark, who is a super nice guy and also has written a book that delves deep into these questions. And also, I'm going to go along with you. There are parts of it that are pretty creepy.
And he's a really nice guy. So I don't know.
Perfect. Hey, Lenny, I mentioned our newsletter, and we sent out our very first Front Porch Book Club newsletter to people who signed up on our mailing list. So if people want to get our monthly newsletter, go to frontporchbookclub.com and sign up for our mailing list. And they're just going to be pretty short, but kind of an inside scoop on what we're thinking and doing and things that we have seen or heard that we think are interesting. So I think it'll be fun for some of our listeners to get inside story about what's going on. And like we said, there's also a great picture of us.
That's worth a look right there.
Yeah, you're not kidding.
It's not boring. It's just snippets. It's fun. It's easy reading. It is not a thesis. It's got graphics on it. Easy reading.
The longest little snippet might be 3 sentences.
Yeah. So it's fun.
And there may be less than 10 little snippets. So it's very brief.
Fun.
Yeah.
We're going to do this podcast, but we've got 2 a month. The next one will be Mark, and we're going to ask him some questions. And if you want to have us ask any questions, we'll be happy to talk about those.
Yeah, be sure to tell your friends about our podcast and go to our website at frontporchbookclub.com. Lenny mentioned if you have questions or comments for us, there's a place to message us directly.
That sounds great, Nancy. Well, I will see you next time when we talk to Mark.
All right, great. See you then.
Okay, Nance. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.